What is up, Virgo? It's your girl, Keli, coming straight at you for the Queen Tarot Beat in Boston. So, okay, let me start the spiel because I'm going to forget and I'm going to start reading you guys and then I'm going to have a whole bunch of crazy comments. So, first things first, the fun part. We are still going to continue this contest. I don't care who gets on here and who does what. It's not you guys' fault. So we're going to continue the contest of whatever video has the most views, likes, shares, and all of that. Each month is going to get a 1 hour free reading. I will go into the comments and either myself or Rachel or my significant other will choose someone in the comments. That way it's not me being biased or anyone saying that I'm picking the same people. They're both going to help me, and we're going to choose someone from the comments. So congratulations to Taurus for winning the first one, and Taurus got their reading. Scorpio was just chosen, and so we're going to keep it going. So keep this message moving and keep the positivity flowing. The other thing is I may say Virgo a lot, but it could very well play out from Virgo's partner's point of view. So it can play out vice versa. I'm just going to say Virgo because if not, it gets a little bit confusing to people watching. So cross watchers, welcome. Go ahead, leave your comments if you're confused on what cross watching really is or what you should be looking for or what I mean. One of us will answer you, whether it be myself, one of the moderators. I have now added moderators to this page. Or one of the subscribers. Everybody here is amazing and they're really working hard on living their best life and changing themselves for the better. So for you guys this month, for some reason this month is everybody learning lessons, and I feel like that's the planetary alignment. We've had so many planets going retrograde that I feel like it's, well, definitely with Pluto retrograde, we're being forced to face our shadow selves, the worst things about ourselves that need to be fixed, whether we like it or not. And so irregardless of whether you're used to it, unfortunately, Virgo, you're going to be facing your shadow self. But I feel like for you guys, your shadow self is when I'm shuffling for you, I get the feeling like the lesson you're learning is how to understand your intuition, how to understand what influence. It's hard to explain. Let me listen to my guides over here, the dead, and we will see what they have to say because they're trying to yammer in my ear and it's not effective when I'm trying to talk to you. It's a little confusing. So, okay. So they're showing me like a 9 of Swords type of energy. You guys are trying to figure out with your intuition what is good to be in your life and what isn't. I just did Leo, and Leo's finally figured out what's good in their life and what isn't, but how to cut it out. You guys, I feel like, are trying to figure out what is good in your life and what's not, what's bringing you closer to your spiritual path and what's dragging you away. So you're learning to listen to that intuition, because as an earth sign, your intuition doesn't really, it's not really as effective as it is with a fire sign or a water sign. Earth and air have trouble distinguishing a lot of the times with their intuition, whether or not it's them being them or if it's their intuition eating at them. And you guys are trying to find a fine balance of what your intuition looks like. And the best description of your intuition is that it's that pit in your stomach, guys. It's that red flags that instantly send that shooting like thought through your head, like, okay, this is not good for me and I know it. It's your subconscious. It's your superconscious. It's your conscious. It's everything about you. It's the high priestess. It's everything about you that tells you what is good and what isn't. When you feel that pit, that's when it's time to listen to, okay, this is not good for me. When you see that red flag, don't do what the rest of us do, including us Aries, and catapult past every red flag that's possible and make the same mistake and touch the same hot stove like 55 times. That's what we do. So as I was telling everyone else, our lesson this month as Aries, sun and rising, is to learn to think before we speak. And also to learn to think before we act. These lessons go against the grain on everything that an Aries is. Aries is known for their spontaneity and their brutal honesty. We would rather hurt you up front with the truth than go behind your back with a lie. That's how we are. And so it's kind of resulted in me not talking and not acting. It kind of sucks. But I'm finding a happy balance on the way that I say things to people that doesn't hurt their feelings. I'm finding a way to shut up and listen instead of talking when I should be listening. And so that in turn is causing my behaviors to change. And I'm becoming a better person and a better Aries because of it. And I think it's amazing because I've never stopped long enough to think about what I'm going to say or to think about the cliff I'm about to jump off without my parachute. So for you guys, it's learning to distinguish when to listen, they're saying, and pay attention to what's not good in your life. You've got a lot of negative things in your life or a lot of negative behaviors and attitudes, and you put out a lot of negative word. And when you put out a lot of negative word, it takes form. There's energy right in front of you. And that negativity goes in to that energy, and that energy goes out into the universe and in turn brings back what you've put out. And so learning to listen to your intuition and not always say, oh, well, that's just how my life is and it's always me. Learning to reel it in, take a step back and listen to your intuition and put it out in a positive light. I'd like for this not to happen again. So what can I do to blah, 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 universe? And the universe will provide you with an answer. It's just a matter of how you see that answer, whether you see it through me, another one of these amazing readers here on YouTube. We have plenty of amazing ones. Just look out for some of those 2-hour ones. There's a number of them on here, but there is a number of amazing readers. Inner Light Tarot, 1111, Pisces Moon, 1111, Cancer Moon's Tarot, House of Oshun. There's just so many that are such wonderful readers. Ace of Pentacles, she is amazing. And I love her cute little beautiful British accent, and she's so sweet. We do have construction going on, so I apologize for any of the noise that's going on downstairs. But let's get into your reading, because I feel like when you're not listening to your highest self, Virgo, you are doing yourself a disservice, because I feel like it's ending up in disappointments and not just disappointments, but major depressions, major moods for you guys, times of really pulling inside yourself and a lot of you not wanting to come out, times of you guys being devastated, and you can avoid that by learning to listen to that intuition. It'll take practice because you're an earth sign, you're grounded, but you're not used to listening to intuition. You guys are logicians. You're logical, you're practical, you're everything that is earthbound. And so you're not used to listening to something you can't see or speak to. And for you guys, learning to listen to that intuition is like trying to learn not to think logically, because an intuition is not logical in your mind. It's not something you can see, you can hear, you can taste, you can smell. It's something you can feel. And you can't tell the difference when it's your intuition or whether it's your logical side. So you're finding an inner balance, guys, and that is super amazing. You're going against your grain like every other sign. And you're facing your hardest, most brutal shadow self, which is going against your logic, which is almost impossible. Like I said, I stopped talking and acting for like 2 weeks until I figured out what the hell I was supposed to do. So in doing that, I find that you guys would avoid a lot of heartbreak. You would avoid a lot of devastation. You would avoid a lot of false offers. You would be able to see through those false offers without having the issue of trying to figure out whether or not it is your intuition, as opposed to you just logically pushing it away. So when you logically push that intuition away, you're going to find yourself accepting love offers that aren't good for you or aren't right, or false love offers that people just really want something from you and have no intention on reciprocating. So it's really important to you guys, that you learn it. Let's see. I feel like that's what this reading in this month is going to be about. I feel like maybe you've encountered a situation recently. This is the collective, but I can't very well read every single person. I'm talented, but I'm not that talented. But, you know, a lot of this may agree to a lot of you because it's a sign lesson. It's not talking about a specific love situation or a specific work situation or any of the above. It's talking about what your sign is going through during this planetary madness and having to face your shadow self and go through the parts of yourself that you find icky. We all have them. It's called the skeletons. But I feel like you probably recently encountered a situation where your intuition would have been great help to you, because this person didn't have good intention towards you. And had you been listening to that, you may not have found yourself in a sticky situation with somebody. You may have seen through that bullshit they were trying to feed you and more into, okay, my instinct is going off here. Something doesn't feel right. This offer doesn't feel right to me. But instead it was like, I really like this person. There's a red flag, but you know, I'm still going to go for it anyway. And you find yourself in heartbroken situations because of that. And it's definitely a cycle that needs to stop. You know, that may be something that happened in your recent future, meaning like, or is going to happen in your recent future, which means, you know, within the next few days or a couple of weeks, or it could be something that is your recent past, meaning 6 months to a year, usually with me. But usually closer to the 6 month mark within that. It can sometimes fall outside of that. It's just where it usually lies with me. Time's not something that my cards like to give, because ultimately time is an illusion. It's just a way of human beings to keep track of what is going on in the world. But time is an illusion. We created that as a means to mark the days. Remember this. And so I feel like there's an internal struggle with you guys because of this. It's like, do I be logical or do I listen to this weird voice? Because this weird voice is always right. You know, it's like, I hate this thing, but it's always fucking right. Like, no matter what I do, it's always right. And I should have listened to it. But then it's not logical. It's not a person talking. It's not someone I can converse with. It's me just feeling a certain way. And I don't think I shouldn't give someone a chance based on feeling a weird way. Maybe I'm having a bad day. And so you're trying to use logic as a way to get around it. And unfortunately, there is no logic to every single thing in the world, guys. You know that, or you wouldn't be sitting here with me. Right? Right. So logic can't be applied everywhere. It can be in the quantum physics of what I do. There's logic there. There's lots of numbers and lots of logical things for you to play with. But how I do it is mysterious, just as much to me as it is to you. I can talk to the dead. I can talk to people telepathically. I can move things without touching them. I can affect the weather. You know, there's all sorts of things that people can do that don't have logic to it, and nobody can explain it. And that's just parts of some things that people can do. So when I look at this, also, you're holding on to the idea that logic is what's going to get you through everything. And unfortunately, you're finding yourself wrong and on the wrong end of things often lately. And that logic, you can't talk your way out of absolutely everything. And it would be great if that was, you know, we had one thing that we could all cling to, and that was logic. And that's what made sense of the world. But then you see things happen where logic goes right out the window, and you're just sitting there like, the fuck just happened? I can't explain that. No matter how hard you try, you can't explain it. Like millions and millions and billions of ghost sightings. No one can explain that. It's not everyone crazy at one time. And it's not coincidence, because it's happening at the same time all over the world. There's no logic to apply to that. It's on film. It's on voice recordings. It's on, you know, and then there's people like me who are ascensionists, and we travel to the other dimension. So we know that those things exist. We see them. Shit, I talk to them to do my reading. So, trying to apply logic to absolutely everything is impossible. And so for you guys, you have to learn to let go of what is a nightmare to you, of holding on to everything that you can use logic to explain away, and understand that you have to loosen that grip a little bit. You have to recognize that not everything has an explanation. Not everything. There's no such thing as coincidence. It just happens when it's supposed to happen because it's divine timing or divine intervention. How many times have you come really, really close to an accident and something happens that stops it? That comes out of nowhere. How many times have you narrowly avoided something that you should have collided with, or narrowly avoided something that you know should have happened, but something intervened? Sometimes that's your intuition, and sometimes that's the divine. You may get in your car one morning and you take the same route to work every day, and something says to you, go this way to get your coffee instead, and then go a different route. And you're like, well, that's not logical. I go this way every day. I get my coffee from the same people every day because they make it good, and I go to work. But it's at you and it's at you. So you just go a different way, and then you find out there was a huge accident at the same exact time you would have been at this intersection. Or say the coffee shop, someone, mistakenly hits their gas instead of their brake, and there's a bunch of injuries and deaths in the coffee shop that you normally go to every day. But something said, no, Virgo, go this way. And you did it, and you listened. You can't explain that away. That's your intuition. That's what you should be listening to. That's your red flags. That's you. It's the very, very essence of what we're made of, guys. And the fact that you're learning to listen to that is truly amazing, because the feeling of knowing that you can trust yourself more than you can trust anyone else on this earth by listening to that pit in your stomach or that red flag that goes up instantly is the best feeling ever. Of knowing that you can trust yourself ultimately, no matter what, above everyone else and everything else, even above logic. You can trust yourself above logic any day. And so for you guys, it's like coming out of this, it's distressing, and it's like, sorry. My hair is getting very long in the front, as you can see, and very short in the back still. So I'm keeping it that way. I will be growing it long in the front and continue to keep it short in the back, and we're going to taper it in and make it pretty. But it's in my face. Anyway, it's like a nightmare for you guys to come out of that logical state of mind. You're like, you want me to do what? You want me, a Virgo, not to apply logic and numbers to absolutely everything in my life before I move? Before I do anything? You want me to listen to myself? Well, that's not logical. Oh, that's right. You want me not to be logical. How do I do that? Again, Aries. Infamous for jumping off a cliff. Infamous for spitting out the truth before thinking. And so I didn't talk or act for an entire 2 weeks. I just sat here like, so this is how I don't get in trouble. Didn't really work for me. I was like, I'm mischievous. That's just who I am. I am very mischievous and you are very logical. So everybody is learning to go against their grain this month. And all of the readings are coming up this way. I'm not getting love readings or things like that. I'm getting the universe talking directly through me to you. Okay, this is what you need to be doing. Don't ask me. I'm just the messenger. And so they're telling you that by doing that, you can provide yourself and come out of this kind of mind prison you put yourself in, and these sleepless nights of what is this thing inside of me that's always right? By listening to it, it can bring happiness. And here it is, ultimately, your intuition, the high priestess, what I was talking about. By listening to this inside of yourself, you can get rid of this and find this. It's not going to be easy. I never said anything about spirituality was remotely easy. There's nothing easy in spirituality, ascensionism, like nothing. Nothing easy about this road. It's just extremely rewarding. And when you can listen to this and earn yourself this instead of heartbreak because you choose the wrong person for yourself, or you choose a karmic random partner over someone who was there to teach you a lesson, or what have you, you can save yourself all of this. You can certainly save yourself all of this. These multiple mini tower moments that have been going on for you guys lately. You can save yourself from having to make forced decisions and being stuck in this. And being stuck in a loop, in a wheel, like a hamster running around and around, trying to apply your logic to something that is completely not logical. You can't explain this. You can try, but it's not going to work. So you may not like your lesson as much as I don't like mine. However, you'll be coming out of this devastation, and you may not have experienced this feeling I'm getting of somebody making a false offer towards you and you, falling for it, if you will, because you didn't listen to this. No matter what you do, this will always be right. Always. That little gut feeling, it'll always be right over your logic. It'll always be right over your feelings. That's the hard part, is learning to distinguish when to pull back and walk away from somebody that you may have feelings for because they are not good for you. And so we're going to keep her around because you guys are going to need a reminder. Whoa, guys. I feel like a sense of panic. It's like, well, if I can't apply logic, then how do I balance things in my life? If I can't apply logic, then how do I build in my life? Well, if I can't apply logic, then how do I work? My job is logical. Well, if I can't apply logic, then my happy home goes. And all of these are pentacles. All of them. We've got the 2, the 3, the 8, the 10. And you're just like, okay, everything is going wrong or gone wrong. And it's very well because you didn't listen to this. You tried to logic it away. But it's just a whole lot of pentacles. Talks about the material or the mundane things, the money and homes and cars and blah, blah, blah. All the boring stuff. The fun stuff is the stuff you can't explain. But that's one hell of a rough patch right there. By listening to your intuition, I feel like you could have probably avoided whatever this is. And it looks to be like a loss of job, which in turn caused a loss of a relationship, or, definitely a loss of balance in your life. We got Annabelle, the crazy bitch here. Everyone can see her face. Yeah, little Chucky. It just looks like you lost your ass here and you're barely making a narrow escape. That's a narrow escape to me. This is not it's supposed to be a card of victory, but to me, when you're in a boat and you're running away from choppy waters, which is choppy emotions, and cloudy skies, which is your swords, and you're trying to run away with your swords to get to this place over here, which is much sunnier, that doesn't scream victory to me. It screams narrow escape. It screams running away from things. This does not scream victory to me. And so while it's a 6 and a card of victory and you are narrowly escaping this stuff, it's still an escape. It's not a victory. So when I look at this, taking a step back and applying logic to things is not going to help. You can apply the logic, but what you need to be listening to ultimately, Virgo, is you. What does Virgo feel? What does Virgo's pit in their stomach say? Does it say that this person's not right for you? This job's not right for you, even though you've been working there 10 years or 15 years? What does Virgo say? This is Virgo. This is super conscious, subconscious, conscious, pit in your stomach, flags, whatever the hell you want to call her. This is Virgo. This is Aries. This is Taurus. This is Aquarius. This is Pisces. This is ours. This is our true inner self. It's the very essence of what we're made of. All the things we can't explain with logic. So when I look at this, you can take a step back from things, guys, and take a breather. Some of you can vibrate in the fifth dimension if you know how to do that and get that breather you need and compartmentalize. But when you step back, the main thing here, avoiding hurt and pain and job loss and this and that, the main thing is listening to your intuition. Maybe that job loss came from somebody who was jealous of you, but you didn't want to believe that because you're not listening to your instinct because it's not logical. Or you could have avoided this offer that I feel like came from this person who broke your heart or may have broken your heart. Just simply by listening to yourself, because yourself, above all, is truth. You could have definitely avoided having the breakdown of a marriage because of third-party situations and bad behaviors and, just taking advantage or being taken advantage of. You could have definitely avoided this by simply, you're going to see her a million times until you guys get it, listening to yourself. If you are getting the feeling that your mate is not responding in the correct way, you're probably right. Oh no, let me rephrase that. You're definitely right. And Virgo loves nothing more than to be right. They will logic away until they are right. It's not a bad thing. You're just very logical. You're very about what you can see, what is right in front of you. And that's an amazing thing too, because not everybody is logical. Not everybody can try to apply logic and make sense out of things. But you could definitely avoid having this type of a situation by simply listening to yourself. If your mate is not acting right, if just the way they looked at you that one time, that pit in your stomach sent something off. If you just listened to that pit a long time ago, maybe it wouldn't have spiraled out of control to a third-party situation or them out partying or them picking up a bad habit they used to have, like alcoholism, whatever that is for you, whatever it looks like for you. You could have avoided it by listening to Virgo. And like I said, Virgo loves nothing more than to be right. So think, Virgo. If this means you're always right, why would you not listen to her? She makes you always right. I promise you that your higher self is never wrong. Your intuition, your instincts, your gut instincts. When it comes down to it, we are all animals. And animals have the best instincts. You see them, they hear a noise, they run. And that saves their life within seconds. But not us. We're not smart enough. We hear our intuition and we stand there and wait for someone to drop a piano on us. Why? Because it's not logical to listen to something that's not tangible, if you will. So there definitely is a lot of you could have avoided a situation with a third party, and, loss of a long-term relationship or a marriage by listening to yourself. But it seems like you're having a difficult time with this. Like it's there and you know it, but at the same time, it's like, well, that means I have to give up everything that's logical for things that I can't see. You don't have to give up everything that's logical just to listen to Virgo. There doesn't have to be a black or white, okay? In this world, nothing, absolutely nothing is black or white. And I'm not talking about races. Don't even bring that up on my page. I don't do races. People are people, so we won't even get into that. We're not going to tolerate that shit either. I'm talking about matters of the heart, matters of the finances, matters of the mundane world, the spiritual world, however you want to see it, the esoteric world. None of it can be logicked away. The problem is the resistance you guys are having toward that lesson, because it's so difficult for you to believe in something you can't see. And I get that. I mean, people often think I'm crazy when I'm sitting here talking to myself, I'm sure, but not so crazy when I pop out with answers that I couldn't possibly have known without speaking to the dead. Again, something you can't logic away. But there's just this ultimate, it either has to be this way or this way with you guys' energy right now. And it can't be. There has to be a change there. There has to be a change, Virgo, where you guys understand that some things have logic and other things just fucking don't. Sorry, there's just no other way to put it. Some things have logic and other things just don't. They don't have logic. And so this kind of stuck in the mud, I can't do it, it's either going to be logical or not, attitude isn't going to get you anywhere. What they're telling you is look at the magician. Look at the way the world works. Look at how you can make the world work if you know how. The magician is not logical. He knows he can manipulate the things around him. He's got the staff floating in midair, the sword floating in midair, the cup hanging out there, and the pentacle standing right on end. And above him is the infinity symbol. And behind him are very ancient esoteric symbols. He knows that nothing he sees is what is actually there. It's what the mind produces. It's the mind's own matrix. He knows that by simply listening to this and working with the energy right in front of him, right here, that he can manifest what he needs. And they're telling you, you need to bring a death to this idea in your head, this stuck in the mud, black or white, and understand that you can work with what is directly in front of you. You just have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to trust yourself. And you have to be willing to, be right all the time. That doesn't sound a little enticing? Just saying, guys. And it's like when approached with this lesson, you guys are so funny. You guys crack me up because you're so practical. And it's beautiful, but it's also, you're so stubborn. But at the same time, it makes me laugh because when approached with this lesson, you guys are like, who, what? It's like you bust out the sword and you want to pull in the energy and cut it off and be like, nope, can't allow that into my life. Nope. And it's like you just shut down that communication. It's like, nope, can't allow that in my life. It's not logical. And it makes me laugh because that's what I hear them saying when you are approached with this lesson. Like, here comes this esoteric information, this, all this information, ancient knowledge and wisdom and everything. And it's like, you just shut it down. You're like, nope. It's like you're terrified of it. Nope, that can't happen. And you just busting out your sword, like swinging it at nothing. It's funny. And the way they explain it is funny. You don't have to be afraid of it. You don't have to ultimately accept everything about it. You don't have to give up your logic. You just have to understand that sometimes things just aren't logical. You guys are funny. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end your reading. That's what I got for you guys for this month. And I thought it was really just a beautiful thing. And it made me laugh. You guys made me laugh. Your energy was like, what? And I know, because I had the same energy when I got my message this month. And like I said, I didn't speak and I didn't move. I was like, this sucks. Like, I can't get into trouble like this. And I can't help it. Like, I'm an Aries, like full on, like just, yeah. So, guys, it's not the end of the world. It's just a lesson. It'll pass. And, you guys will figure out what's logical to you and what's not. And I will see you soon for your next reading. Don't forget, we have the contest going on where the more likes and views and shares that a video has on this channel, I will be, or my significant other, or my partner in crime, Rachel, will be going into the comments and choosing somebody for a reading. So this coming month will be my other half. He hasn't chosen yet. So just know that we have that still going on. And I will catch y'all next time. This is your girl Kelly coming straight at you from the Queen Tarot Beat in Boston.